Hello and welcome to Dubai Trains. And today we're going to run a train and we're going to run it as if you were the operator on the layout. We're going to have a little bit of focus on the car card system and how that works. So we're not going to follow each and every switch move, but we are going to have a lot of fun. I guarantee that. So today what we're going to do, we're going to take this engine and we're going to do the Miller job. Our trusty yard master right there, crew have already set this up for us. So all I got to do now is start the engine. Do that like that. And just a little bit of an explanation what we're going to be doing. I'm going to keep it very simple. We're the last job of the day and we're right here where it says start and we have our cars and we're going to go all the way there where it says switching and then we're going to go all the way back. Simple, isn't it? So we are on track 1. These are our cards. First thing you want to do always, I already did that, but check if you have the right cards with you and check if you need to put them in different order. So right now we have the right cards and I'm just going to reverse on to there, pick it up, and then we're off to go. Basically, we need to get some clearance as well. Regular viewers would be pleased to see that this RS3 is running again. Of course, I did an entire video on that one little engine where it placed the coder, put in the current keeper, etc, etc. So anyways, it's running again, and now we're just going to run it all the way to the other side of the layout, and I'll see you there in a minute. We do need to get some clearance, but the signal there is orange, which means that there's no operator right now in New North. And according to the operator here, the odd master, there's also not another train anywhere on the layout. So that basically means we can just go over here, head away through New North carefully at restricted speed, of course, and head over to the brewery. And the brewery, it's not modeled yet, but the entire back wall is one giant industry. So I have a little bit of placeholder there and the silos there for the brewery. So that's where we're heading. So restricted speed officially is 20 miles an hour. Let's see how fast we're going. Because I found out that 20 miles per hour is quite fast. And we're not going 20. Probably going to slow it down a little bit. Something that looks safe. Yeah, it needs to look safe. Let's see. Just put in your guesses how fast you think this is. I think it's around 10 maybe, if at all. 707. There we have 7.4. So I might just make my restricted speed 10 miles an hour. Let me see. So whilst our engine is slowly entering the brewery, what I always like to do is get an overview of what needs to happen. Here we have the box for the Miller. We have these 3. We have the set out. Those have already been set out earlier in the day. We don't need to do anything with that. Then we have the hold. We're not doing anything with that. But we are doing the pickups because we need to pick up these 2 cars. They are a AAR code LC. And that is a box car with the covers on the top for grain. So those 2 cars need to be picked up. Now, as we're slowly rolling in, let me just lay the cars to see what needs to happen on the other side. So we have 1 gondola and it has to go to the glass chute. Then 3 reefers and then 1 box car. So the box cars and the reefers all need to go here in a particular order, but we'll just not go into that today. And yeah, still good on track. And then the glass chute is right here. So the gondola has to go in last. So it's convenient and not an accident that gondola is at the front of the train. So now I have an overview of what needs to happen. Then I like to just quickly think out what am I going to do. So I'm going to uncouple the caboose here. And you always want to try to keep your road crossings free. But it is a shoving platform, so I'm going to keep it here so the crew can also manage traffic a little bit and do all the switches that are here. And then I'm first just going to spot all these cars. Normally I would say pick the cars first and then spot them. But because we're only picking those 2 and those 2 are not interfering with the spotting of these cars on these tracks right here, we're just going to spot them all first. So let me do that. Now, while I spot these final two reefers, the particular order that has to happen is that these reefers will actually be picked up in the morning, and those other cars, box cars, will remain. So you have to always spot the reefers mostly on the back track. So then when you pick them in the morning, then people from the warehouse can still access those box cars. And secondly, as you see, we're double stacking it. So I don't know if that's the term, but we're just having two rows of box cars. So they have to really neatly align. And that also means that you always need to have, let me turn the bell off, more cars on the front track or equal than the cars on the back track. Because otherwise, if there, for example, is not a car there, then you can't access that car. So that's just something to look out, a little extra thing that you need to, yeah, keep an eye out. So we're just going to spot this one at the glass chute, just like that. It'll be really fun to model that, actually. I'm really looking forward to modeling this whole, where, was it Miller Brewery? And then those two tracks back there, you're wondering what's that? Well, it's the staging, so you actually won't be able to see that. It's just what we want. So we just spotted, we actually did half of the work already. We just spotted these 5 cars. So these cars and waybills will go into the set out box because we set them out. And now we're going to pick up the pickups, and they are both here. So I'm just going to take those cards. We'll have a look at this in a minute because there's still some tricky stuff going on there. So let me just pick up those cards. And as you see, we're also, it's not coincidence, the caboose is there. So it's two different approaches I can do. I can either just take those 2 cars and then stack them up against the caboose. But then I might need some clearance to pass that signal, so I'm not going to do that. I'm actually just going to push this caboose past that turnout and then stack those 2 cars onto the caboose. So easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Let me just get that done, and then we'll talk about those car cards. So then it's just a matter of collecting your train, and then we're going to head out to the signal. I see the signal is still orange. So that basically means that there's still no operator in near north, but we do want to call it in. So let me do that in a minute. So let's just hold here. The signal is orange, so we can't proceed through. We just need to call in to make sure there's no other traffic, and there isn't. So, but it's always good to just step back and to make sure, just check, make sure that you did everything that you wanted to do. So we got those 2 cars. We spotted everything here. Doesn't that look all nice and tidy? That tanker, also part of the brewery, the power plant, nothing needs to happen with that. Now we have 2 cars, and let me check, it's in this order. And the left one has to go to the C&W, and it says via division yard. They're in the orange, under you have consignee, and then you have address, and address is via division yard. So that one has to go all the way to the yard and goes back. But if you look on the right, this one goes to the Milwaukee yard, and it just goes straight to the Milwaukee yard. It doesn't say via yard. So we're actually going to drop this one off at the Milwaukee yard. So what does that mean in the grand scheme of things? Well, we're right now there at the brewery, and the car needs to go there at the Chicago, Milwaukee, St. Paul, and Pacific, Milwaukee. So we're just going to spot it right here on one of these tracks. We have the space, switching layout, doesn't matter. The morning crew will pick that one up, and then we're going to head to the yard. So what does that look like on the layout? Let's just get moving. Let me take my 2 cars with me. So let me just hold it right there now that we're in near north. So it means that the back car for the Milwaukee, the back car, eventually has to end up on this track going to staging to the Milwaukee yard. But now we just need to off spot it somewhere, and then the morning crew will find it, hopefully in a convenient location. So we can spot it anywhere where we want basically, but what we're going to do is I'm just going to take this track and spot the car right there. And here it's relatively out of the way, so you can still go around it. Yeah, on 2 tracks if you want to. And if you need that section for a run around, you can just push it back a bit to somewhere in this area. So let me just make that move. Show you guys a little bit what that's like. So now we're technically operating in near north. So the switches went to red, and we are the operator for near north. So that ensures that no one is going to sneak up on us. They need to have clearance from us, and until we give them clearance, or until anyone calls in for clearance, which they won't because we're the last job of the day. But anyways, until then, we can do whatever we want on all these tracks, and that's convenient because we're going to be blocking 2 of the 3 ways through near north for a while. So now we just collect our caboose, and we need to do a little bit of paperwork. So that was that, and now we need to do one more thing. So this car is that car right there, and it is off spot. It is not on the Milwaukee Road yet, but it does need to go there. So I'm going to put an off spot label in it. And actually, we also have an off spot box just in this specific case, because this one still needs to go to the interchange, and these are already in the interchange, so these will be collected tomorrow, and then this one will go to the interchange tomorrow. And this one single car we're going to take back with us. So you see, it's really diverse, the operations and also the makeup of the trains on the layout. We came in with, what was it, 4, 5, 6 cars, and now we're just leaving with 1 car. And that's what I like. I like the sight sometimes of a long train. Maximum train length is 8 cars plus caboose and engine. But I also really like the sight, as inefficient as it is to have this whole crew working just to move this one empty even boxcar back to the yard. So let's go back to the yard. So we are just entering the yard right now, and the signal behind us heading into near north just went back to orange because we left there. There's no more operator, so it's restricted speed. We had permission from the yard master to clear that signal right there and to enter the yard on track 1. So that is where we are right now. And all you really need to do in this case is we're going to put this card here in the box for track number 1. And we're just going to go on to the next job if it was an operating session. And then the yard master and the yard switcher that's there would just terminate this train, so that 1 car, that 1 caboose, and spot this car here on the CN&W track, so it can go with all the other cars to the CN&W. And if this was an operating session and you were given a new train, then you would either be able to collect the cars from the track, so let's say near north, then you go get these cars from near north on track 4, or you will get instructions to probably wait on the departure track on that end, so you do run around like that, and then a new train will be added for you. So that was this video. I hope it was useful and to understand a little bit how all of this works and how to deal with it within an operation session. Thank you guys all for watching. That's it for today. Bye bye.